My name is Chapman-Harris. I'm a gay man, and I'm the Equality, Diversity and Inclusion Manager for Mott MacDonald. Other industries compared to engineering do vary. If we look at the military and armed services and policing have moved forward around community engagement, again to tackle previous historical challenges. Other industries, banking or financial services, have engaged in a huge amount of good practice that the engineering sector can really learn from. And we are picking up those key points in order to progress and to collaborate to improve the success around LGBT+ inclusion for our sector. LGBT+ inclusion is so important from a personal but also a business perspective. So LGBT+ staff who feel included at work are more productive, they're happier, there's improved retention, but also from a business perspective we see that there's greater innovation from staff who feel comfortable at work. And again, that innovation supports the business in performing more positively and more dynamically. Two key challenges that the engineering construction industry faces with regards to LGBT+ inclusion is around the standards of language and behaviour. That comes out from several pieces of research that staff do not feel that there's an inclusive environment, that maybe the use of language or even moving into bullying harassment space specifically affects the LGBT+ community and within the businesses as well. I think alongside that, a challenge really is raising the dialogue, so being open and talking about LGBT+ inclusion and being quite engaged in the topic as something that is a positive for the business and for our staff, rather than maybe being framed as a nice thing to do. Actually, it's fundamental to any organisation to perform and to continue to perform, to do so in an inclusive way. Being a woman or being an ethnic minority or having a disability and part of the LGBT+ community does have added challenges. And again, we hear framing around doubly disadvantaged, the challenges around intersectionality, and it's important that we include that as part of our dialogue right at the outset. So we're engaging with these topics and understanding the diversity within LGBT+ diversity right at the forefront of the work that we're doing. At Mott MacDonald, we've really focused on equality, diversity and inclusion, and as part of that, LGBT+ inclusion is key. We have our Advancing LGBT+ network, and we have champions who are provided with time and budget to focus on LGBT+ inclusion. And those champions have been so key working with the EDI team to deliver events around Pride. We've marked LGBT History Month for the last 2 years, and also we're working on active, visible role models within the LGBT+ space. Key things other companies can do to support LGBT+ inclusion, and indeed inclusion for all staff, is have the dialogue. Speak to your staff, organise safe, inclusive focus groups to say, well, what can we as a business do more to support you, to represent you, to understand your experiences of working here. So I would say that's on a qualitative level. Also invest in a quantitative survey. So not only your employee engagement survey, but actually have a survey that drills down into the diversity detail, that actually asks questions about all protected characteristics, and that captures diversity monitoring so you can split those results in a way that tells you this is what our gay and female staff in this location are saying to us, whilst being mindful not to drill down to the level of detail that you could identify in individuals. So I think quality, quantity, but also engage your leaders with that business case. Make sure they understand and they can access the opportunities around LGBT+ inclusion. And then finally also work more broadly. So work with specialist organisations, work collaboratively with your peers in order to harness the best practice that may be out there. My advice to people thinking of joining the engineering construction industry is probably the advice I'd give to anyone really, is do your research, understand the organisation you're applying to, but I would say specifically as an LGBT+ individual is look at the culture points, look to see are there role models who are visible in the business, what are they saying about diversity, because I know I wouldn't want to join a company that wouldn't make me feel included, because actually I'm then going to have to be questioning or worrying about things that I wouldn't do in a more inclusive business. And again, perhaps as an equality, diversity and inclusion manager, I understand every day the value of having an inclusive culture in a company, but also staff, even if their focus is on, a very straightforward engineering project, actually how you feel amongst that team. Do they listen when you're talking? Do they speak over you? Do they cut you off? Do you feel included? Do you worry about people sort of asking questions or gossiping? These are all the microaggressions that can happen and impact on LGBT plus individuals. So I would say do your research and choose the best company that's going to be able to value you 100% of the time. For me personally, I would recommend working in the engineering construction space. For me, the opportunities are so broad, and the key thing with any industry really is that there will be challenges, but there will also be huge opportunities. One specific area I would say, based on working with a global firm, is that there are obviously challenges around LGBT plus migration, but actually if you choose an organization that will recognize and support you, again this links to the point about research, is that there are a huge amount of opportunities to work in a huge diverse range of projects in the engineering space, and also projects that do change the landscape of our world, which again I think is a really exciting opportunity and prospect. So for me, that's one of the key reasons why I think engineering construction is a good avenue for anyone looking to impact globally and solve some of the world's key challenges.